Good morning, everyone. Happy Sunday. I'm so glad that you were joining me this morning. Before we talk about today's worship service, let's sing a quick song to welcome everyone that has joined us. Hello, everybody. How do you do? How do you do? How do you do? Hello, everybody. How do you do? God loves you today. Thank you for singing with me. Today is the 13th Sunday after Pentecost, during what we call ordinary time. After our opening prayer and our chance to say peace to everyone today. Peace, Clifford. Peace. We will hear two readings. The first reading is from the book of Romans, which is a letter. Paul wrote this letter when the church was very new. You will hear his letter say things like, if your enemies are hungry, feed them. If they are thirsty, give them something to drink. And do not be overcome by evil, but overcome evil with good. Whew, tricky, but pretty cool. Our second reading is from the Gospel according to Matthew. Remember, the Gospels are the 4 books of the Bible, all about Jesus' life. In today's reading, we will hear Jesus correct Peter. Peter was really worried about Jesus, but Jesus told him, you are setting your mind not on divine things, but on human things. Or another way to say that, in a different translation, is you are thinking human thoughts, not God's thoughts. I've been thinking about the difference between God's thoughts and human thoughts, and times where when somebody's mean to me, I just want to be mean back. If somebody trips me and makes me fall, sometimes I want to trip them right back. But that's not what we read about in here. It's not what Jesus teaches. Jesus teaches us to love our enemies. And we hear that in Paul's letter today. We hear him talk about taking care of our enemies. Clifford and I are friends, but if we weren't, I don't know if I would want to be nice to him. But sometimes we have to take care of each other, even if we don't get along. If you want to try something new during the service today, consider finding a piece of paper and cutting out a heart. Inside that heart, fill it with pictures or words about how you can care for people, even when they sometimes make you mad. For today's story, we will read the book Something Happened in Our Town by Marianne, Celano, Marietta and Anne Hazzard. This book was illustrated by Jennifer Zivion. The characters in this story, Josh and Emma, talk about a terrible event. And they learn about how people are sometimes treated unfairly. Instead of overcoming evil with evil, Emma and Josh will think thoughts that I think are pretty close to what God would want us to do. They act with love to overcome people being mean. They take care of a classmate. Are you ready? Something happened in our town. Something bad happened in our town. The news was on the TV, the radio, and the internet. The grown-ups didn't think the kids knew about it, but the kids in Miss Garcia's class heard some older kids talking about it, and they had questions. After school, Emma asked her mother, "Why did the police shoot that man?" "It was a mistake," said her mother. "I feel sad for the man and his family." "Yes, the police thought he had a gun," said her father. "It wasn't a mistake," said her sister Liz. "The cops shot him because he was black." Emma was confused. He is brown, not black, she said. Some black people have dark brown skin, and some have light brown skin, Emma's father explained. Sometimes black means African American, where their ancestors were brought here from Africa as enslaved peoples. Sometimes black can mean people from other places as well. I know what an enslaved person is, said Emma. That's when you have to do what the other people say. Yes, an enslaved person had to do whatever white people told them to do. They were not treated well at all. Their families were separated, and they had no power. Even after slavery ended, white people didn't let black people live where they wanted, go to school with white people, or vote. Who are white people? White people are usually people who come from places in Europe or Russia or other countries. We are white, even though our skin is light tan. Did our family do those things, those bad things, a long time ago? Asked Emma. Yes, answered her mother. Back then, many white people thought that they were better than black people, even though it wasn't true. Liz added, some white people still think that black men and boys are dangerous, even though they're not. Was the man that got shot dangerous? Asked Emma. No, her mother said. Shooting him was a mistake. It was a mistake that is part of a pattern. Like the pattern on my blanket? Emma asked. Yes, but this pattern is a pattern of being nice to white people and mean to black people. It's an unfair pattern. Suppose you had a birthday party and invited everyone in your class, except your friends who were black. How would your friends who were black feel? They would be sad, Emma said, or mad. And you would be missing out, because you never know who is going to be your best friend, said Liz. And you can help others to be fair, said her mother. Like telling Anna to stop teasing Ling about her name? Asked Emma. Her mother gave her a hug. Yes, just like that. In another house, Josh asked his mother, Can police go to jail? Yes, said his mother. Why do you ask? That policeman who shot the black man, said Josh. Will he go to jail? What he did was wrong, said his mother. But he won't go to jail, said his father. Why not? Asked Josh. Sometimes cops stick up for each other, said Josh's brother Malcolm, and sometimes they don't like black men. Josh was confused. Why not? Some police are black. You're right, said his mother. Uncle James is a police officer, and so is my friend Kenya. There are many cops, black and white, who make good choices, said his father. But we can't always count on them to do what's right. Malcolm added, I could get stopped by the police just because I'm black, even if I don't do anything wrong. That's not fair, Josh said. What if it was a white man in the car? Would the police have shot him? They might not have even stopped the car, said his father. Sometimes white people are treated better than black people, said his mother. But it's not right. Everybody should be treated fairly. Josh's mother gave him a hug. We're proud of who we are. Harriet Tubman, Martin Luther King Jr., and Nelson Mandela were strong and brave black leaders. They showed us that we can stand up for our rights and set good examples for others. They were treated unfairly, but they helped others learn to be more fair. Some people haven't learned yet, said his father angrily. Why are you mad? Asked Josh. I'm mad that we're still treated poorly sometimes. But I can use my anger to make things better, said his father. Black people have a lot of power if we work together to make changes. I have power, Josh said, and I'm smart. His father smiled. You're right. His mother added, and you can change people's hearts by sticking up for someone who is not treated fairly. Like how Malcolm sticks up for me when the kids tease me about my glasses? Josh asked. He tells them to step off. Just like that, his parents said. The next day, a new kid joined Emma and Josh's class. His name was Omad, and he was from a country far away. Omad didn't know where to sit or what to do because it was his first day in school. He talked a little bit, but it was hard to understand him. He said he was learning English. After lunch, the class went outside to play soccer. Daniel and Sophia picked kids to be on their teams. All of the kids picked to be on a team, except Omad. Daniel said Omad probably didn't know how to play because he was new. Sophia said Omad might not be good at soccer. Josh remembered what his mother said about sticking up for people who were treated unfairly. Emma remembered what her mother said about unfair patterns and birthday parties. All of a sudden, Omad wasn't alone. Emma and Josh were leading him to their team. We have enough kids on our team, Danielle said. We don't need him. But Josh was ready. Step off, he said. He's playing. Yeah, said Emma. We don't want to miss out. And just like that, Emma and Josh gained a new friend and started a better pattern in their school. The end. Sometimes it's scary or hard to talk about the unfair patterns in our world because we want to be good and we want other people to be good too. God's thoughts teach us that we can care for one another even though the patterns are unfair. We can make new patterns. Emma and Josh, they had love to share. Omad had love to share. By standing up for one another, we can make the world more full of love and justice. To close today, will you help me sing the new song that we sang last week? Remember, it's called I Have Love to Share by Amanda Meisenheimer. I will read the words once, and then we will sing it twice. If you want, you can practice clapping or make up your own dance move to go with it. Are you ready? The words are, I have love to share with the whole wide world, and I start with loving myself. When I take good care of my heart and soul, I have love for everyone else. I love me, so I can love you. God loves me, so I can love you. Now let's sing it. I have love to share with the whole wide world, and I start with loving myself. When I take good care of my heart and soul, I have love for everyone else. I love me, so I can love you. God loves me, so I can love you. I have love to share with the whole wide world, and I start with loving myself. When I take good care of my heart and soul, I have love for everyone else. I love me, so I can love you. God loves me, so I can love you. You have love to share, and it is amazing. I hope you enjoy the service today and that you share your love.